This question is the 2014 Ordinary Level Question 5, Transformation Geometry. The question shows the logo for a golf society. Part A of this question is to draw the given logo and then locate points A, O, A1, A2, A3 and P as shown. Part B then is to find the image of the given logo under the following transformations. From A to A1, A to A1 is a translation. From A1 to A2 as an axial symmetry with the line A3 as the axis, and then finally a central symmetry from A2 to A3 with P as the center of symmetry. So I have this question started partially set up in that I found A1, A2, A3 and I started to draw this over here. Locating point P, draw a line from A2 to A3 and then measure horizontal distance here of 30, then draw a vertical line from that distance until it cuts through that line there. That gives us the point P that we'll need later on. And point O here, that's in the center, that one's fine. So drawing the shape, I've drawn the circle here of radius 30. So the next bit now that I'm going to do is just going to locate a few more bits. So the dark part of I suppose the flagpole part of it, that's 10 millimeters from the center vertical line, and then similar to what we do for P over here, for this point out here, the tip of the flagpole and the tip of the flag, measure up 15 millimeters, horizontal line out until it cuts through the circumference of the circle. That gives us the point there that we're looking for. So now we can draw in the shape. And then just darkening in that part of that there. So we can be a little bit smart about this when we're drawing or picking out which points we need. We don't need to move all of them. So we can take this point, have to take point A, this point here, we need that one, we need this one, E, C, D, and E. We also need this point down here, point F. We don't really need to take that one, as we have C and we have E. A line from C through E out the other side will give us that point in time. That's it starting out. So for this point here, our first one is the translation. So each point is going to move the same distance and direction as the point A does to A1. So from each line, I'm just going to maybe take 2 or 3 of them at a time. So I'm using sliding set squares. It doesn't appear to line up with an angle. B and C, and take this point here as well. So taking a compass, measuring the distance from A to A1. Just check that it doesn't swing back in. And then from B, marking this the same distance. From C, same distance. So this becomes B1, C1. And so on. So this is point E1. Doing the same thing for the remaining 2 points that we need to find. Point D. And F. So from F, same distance as it is from A to A1, and from D, the same. So D1 and F1. Point E here is the center of our circle. So point for a compass here on E, pencil over to A gives us the radius. It should also touch point F, and B and C touch all of them. So just draw that in lightly first. Can then darken in the line from E to D. So E joins to D here, so E1 will join to D1. D1 joins to C in the same way that D joins to C down here. C joins through E out the other side until it touches the circumference of the circle. This is what I meant a while ago where we don't need to move that point. That's that same point. and then B joins to F. Finally, we can just darken in the outline. And that completes the translation. So each line, each of these lines, they're parallel to each other. And they're all parallel to the line joining A to A1. They've also all moved the same distance. So from the distance from B to B1 is the same as A to A1. So that's how our translation is working. The next transformation that we need to do is from A1 to A2, and that's by an axial symmetry. So each point is going to move perpendicular to the axis, same distance either side of the axis. So I'm going to take B and F here, they should be in line with each other. So I'm measuring the distance from the axis to the point out the other side. This becomes F2. Distance from that point on our axis to point B, again, same idea. This is B2. Taking points C and E, same idea. So again, from measuring from our axis to the point, so C2, E2, and finally D done the same way. So D, so either side of our axis, so from the axis to the point, same distance on the opposite side. This is D2. So just like we have up in the in the first image and the object over here, C joins to D, so C is going to join to D. D joins to E, and B joins to F. Now I'm going to draw in the circle again, so the center of our circle is E, touches all the other points. So where this line from C goes through E, breaks through the circumference down here, that's one of the points there that we're looking for. So I can darken in this much around here then. So again, that's the second part completed. So we have our axis running through the middle here. This red line was the line A3. So all lines have gone perpendicular to our axis and the same distance. So the distance from the axis to distance from the axis to F1 is the same as distance from the axis to F2. So our final transformation then is in central symmetry from A2 here to A3 up here with P as our center of symmetry. So for this one, again, we have our center of symmetry, so that's important for us. All our points are going to pass through the center of symmetry, so it's important that these are drawn accurately through the center, otherwise we start to get problems. And point D down here, that's on the same line. So we can measure the distance from the point, our center of symmetry to the point, same distance on the other side. So from point P to the axis, or from point P to the point, and then from point P up along the line that we've just drawn. Same thing from point P to point D2. So this was E3, and up here this is D3. Doing the same thing now from the other point, so point C through point P again. So So point P back to point C. Same distance on the other side. This becomes C3 up here. Point B, again, same idea. So it's from point B through the center of symmetry. If you notice, all the points pass through the center. They're not kind of spread out. So point P to point B. Same distance on the other side. And finally, point F here through point P. Same distance out the other side. So measuring the distance from P to point F. And same distance out here. So that's F3. So again, taking our compass on point E, center of our circle, drawing in our circle that's going to touch all of the points. So it's a nice way to know you're after getting this right. Point C here joins to D, and the same as it has for all the previous ones. C joins to D, D joins to E. Point C passes through E out the other side until it hits the circumference down here at the bottom, and B joins to F like it has in all the previous ones. Final part then is just to take our compass and darken in the remaining bit of this. Just joined that to the wrong point there a moment ago. So just darkening in again. Over to that point. So that completes our question. We did from A to A1 as a translation, from A1 to A2 as an axial symmetry with this red line as our axis, and then from A2 to A3 as a central symmetry with point P as our center of symmetry. So the 2014 ordinary level question 5.